All right, so now we're taking a look at what I think is kind of the lifeblood of this story, which is our heroes. You have three sort of main characters that we follow over the course of this story, with a colorful cast of other ones. But the main three are Cyrus, Val, and BC. Cyrus is a young man from Valgardia, a land that to most people is considered a complete myth. That's obviously kind of an issue for him, since that means that he has no idea where he is, how he got there, or most importantly, how to get home. Making things worse, he's got gold hair and gold eyes and looks weird, smells weird to all the animals around him, and has a weird gift with languages. And also he has a obnoxious voice in his head named C, who is constantly giving him a hard time. I really like Cyrus because he is, for all the crazy circumstances surrounding him, he's just kind of a normal guy. He's well-meaning, well-intentioned, and I really, after reading a lot of fantasy and a lot of, kind of crazy series, it was like, I kind of like the idea of having just a normal dude going through this absolute insanity. He's still kind of optimistic. He tries to kind of stay positive and stay going, but it's like, dude, what is going on in my life right now? Anyway, so next we have Val, who's an Edoran man, and basically built like if LeBron James and Serena Williams had a love child. He's spent the past 7 years living in the woods with his two hounds, Edda and Rowan, and he's like a really simple dude. He just likes to be outside, he likes to work out, he likes to hunt, he likes to hang out with his dogs, he likes to read, have good food, good whiskey that he's made himself. Really is, kind of a simple man, but at the same time, this kind of very crazy, colorful, complicated world around him constantly drags him into these issues. And sort of the violence and the war has given rise to this other kind of side of him, which is the Iron Wolf of Edera, this absolute ruthless warrior. I really like Val. Also, no surprise. But I like him because he is kind of, he's answering the question for me of, it's like, what is the role of people in a world like this? He is one of the world's greatest soldiers. He's strong, he's fast, he is resourceful and tough, and yet, so that in most cases that doesn't really help him because he's going up against this crazy elemental magic and people who are basically closer to gods than they are to real humans. He knows this as well as anybody else, but he still fights on. He still struggles, and I love Val for that, because he is against the world that is totally stacked against him, and he's taken everything to its limit, and he's still fighting. And I love that, and the kind of the play between what it takes to survive in that world, and what he kind of wants to be as a normal dude is, it's a really fun thing to write, and it's a really fun adventure for him. Well, not really that fun, but. Anyway, our last character is BC, who is a mixed-race Edoran Uveran girl, grew up in Edera, who has just like a filthy mouth and is perfectly happy to kick back in the bar districts and the pleasure districts and just sit around in a blur of like surrounded by like sex and substance and violence and decadence and just beauty and ugliness. She's like, I love it, in the heart of this old city. In the old city, the blend of kind of underworld and magic is, it's not, the lines blur. It's kind of coming together of Freelanders who live beyond the law, just kind of by their very nature. And in this, there's all these crime families in this city who have far-reaching powers throughout Edera, but they're kind of centered here in this kind of hive of the gathering of Freelanders, and it's like in the aftermath of what BC has is a very, very dark past that we kind of uncover over the course of this story. It is like the old city is this perfect place to kind of lift a drink, smoke a little bit, take some drugs, and fucking kick back. I love BC because at her, she just doesn't give a fuck. she's been through an absolute ringer in her life, and a past that still is following her and clawing at her and trying to drag her back into it. And so she just responds by like pulling out some big dick energy, and just being like, all right, like, pop the bottle, pop a shot, pop a pills. She's like, I don't give a. She's like, you can't fucking break me, and she's just like, come at me, world. I'm gonna take it all. She's this part of all of us that's sort of a rock star. She's irreverent. She does not give a fuck, and kind of that contrast to like this horrible past that she has, and this dark story that she needs to eventually work her way through. It's fun to see, and it's really interesting to kind of explore. So. Anyway, so that's our three main characters, kind of in a nutshell, or maybe not so small of a nutshell. But you can read about all of them in the upcoming Volume 1, and there's a long journey for all three that's coming ahead.